Hey TNA fam, we're back here for another Impact Zone podcast episode to talk the final Genesis update. I've just finished off watching the live episode. There was a few issues with the live feed. I think that there was some issues due to the fact that there was a lot more people trying to watch the live feed than what there normally is. So I think that was a contributing factor. I'm 100% sure on that, but whatever. It is what it is. A few changes have occurred and a few updates have been updated, so to speak, for the most part. I guess I'll talk about the slight changes to at least two of these matches that we've got, because apparently Ice has got Danny Luna, apparently. This we know. Well, I don't know whether it's Ice, but whatever. Obviously, it's Ice in the US. Everything over there is going really badly, and I keep saying that they should tour in Canada or tour in Mexico or tour somewhere else, but they continue to tour in America. But whatever, it is what it is. So first, we were talking about before, like, what Joe Hendry was going to do. So now, because Leon Slater cannot appear due to him being over in working with WWE, he is now going to face Cedric Alexander and Moose in a triple threat. Like, I feel like Hendry is here just to take the pin because he's basically a WWE guy right now and he's not really in the company much anymore. So I don't really see him doing anything. And like, I feel like maybe that's a way to say, hey, whoever's winning's getting a bigger push or getting further along or whatever else it is, somewhat in some ways. I don't know. Like, it's changed so much now, like, in some ways, because, like, if, as I said before, like, you could debate the idea that Slater's going to WWE or whatever, and say, well, maybe someone will win that belt or whatever else it is soon off of him or whatever else it is. But I still feel like he should hold on to it just for a little bit longer. I still think there are some good things that he can do with that belt. Probably just namely having a match against AJ with it on the line or whatever. But still, I don't know. There's just no one else really in that division that you can really rely on for a long-term thing. I don't feel like, unless you're gonna really turn somebody heel, and then at least you can have, like, some other things going on in that division or whatever. But anyway, I don't know whether you're talking about this as an X Division match now, because it doesn't have the X Division champion in it. Now it's a completely different match. I mean, Cedric is a sort of X Division style wrestler, I guess, but yeah. And now there's no X Division title on this card. There's actually some updates for next week. I will talk about those nearer to the end. But yeah, I don't know about this one. I'm kind of confused with this one. So yeah, I don't really know what to say about it. But like I said, I feel like Hendry will probably lose. Whoever's going to win's going to win, kind of thing. Maybe it'll be Moose. I don't know. Maybe it'll be Cedric. I mean, Cedric hasn't really won very many matches in TNA, so I would doubt it in some ways, but I don't know. Next, I want to talk about Laying Lee versus Zarya. I feel like, again, I talked about Danny Luna there, but I wasn't talking about her thing yet. But yeah, so I accidentally gave it away here, I guess, a little bit. But yeah, like, Danny can't come into the States apparently because of reasons with the US border protection patrol or whatever. So we're getting Laying Lee versus Zarya. I feel like this is just a filler match. This is who they had on hand, and they said, okay, we'll give you a chance to have a match, and I feel like this is a match that Lay is going to win. Honestly, because this is just a filler match. It was only announced, like, tonight, and it was only a match to say, hey, well, Danny's not here or can't be here. We've got to have a match, and, like, we're already not having an X Division match, but at least that person actually has the belt, I guess. So that makes more sense as to why you can't have that match. Whereas in this case, it's just the challenger. At least you can have a match for the title in this regard. So, but yeah, I just see Lei winning, honestly. And it's a little bit of a letdown in some ways, but in some ways it is good. I said this before. I am so sick of the hot potato title. I'm so sick of it. So I would like it for Lei to just hold on to it just for a little bit longer, just so it feels like she's actually held the title for more than a hot minute before she loses it to Danny. And I really do feel like Danny is the person to take it off of her. And it's interesting to see what you're doing with Indy. She looks like she might be going into a tag team scene. I said that before, but I'm wondering who her tag team partner would be. Or maybe she'd just be like a upper mid-card style wrestler. I don't know what you're going to do there. A new match that's been announced that I said there's some stuff about this feud before. And I said, what's it actually leading to? Where is this actually going? What are you actually doing with this? Because before it's oh, okay, they had that Christmas match between Ryan Nemeth and Mara Sade. Now it's oh, okay, now it's a proper singles match. I don't know. I feel like you might be moving in a different direction with the Nemeths, so I feel like you're almost not breaking them apart so much, but you're kind of breaking them apart, and they're both more or less singles acts now. So I don't know, but that's what I'm seeing here, at least. I don't know. Ryan is a guy that hasn't really done a whole lot. Mara has really just gotten here in the last few months. She hasn't really done anything. And I would like to see her do some cool stuff in the Knockouts division, but it's at this point, I'm what is this? They've had this feud for a while, but it's it's time to get away from this. It's time to finish this up. It's time to move on from this. So I would say just have Mara beat Ryan and have Ryan go on his way and go and feud with somebody else or something else, or just be a manager or whatever. Because it's time to move on from this. There have been some good moments and some funny moments, but it's time to not be doing this anymore, because you can't do anything with it, really. There's nowhere you can go with it. You can either have Ryan win and beat Mara and then Mara come back later on, but that really doesn't do anything for her. It doesn't really it stretches out the story. And the story's gone on long enough, so I think it's wrap it up, guys. Intergender wrestling, I know it happens, and I know some people really like it, and I don't mind it, but I just think that it's not something that we should be too involved in. I think that it's something that you should say is a rare commodity that you get to see here and there and whatnot. I kind of want to talk about some of the new debuts and whatnot that have happened or whatnot, but I might talk about them in a separate match or in a separate episode, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. Actually, I won't, because we're not probably able to. So let's see if I can find it all up, if I can, potentially, at least, hopefully. Oh, actually, that's not... Where am I looking? I think there was only 2 or 3 anyway, because it was only a few handful of things. They did a lot of stuff with AJ tonight, which was pretty cool in some ways, but I said when they lost Killer Kelly, but when she didn't re-sign or whatever, but I say to people, she's had a bunch of kids, and for her to be out there in wrestling is insane in some ways with the number of kids that they have. And Myron, the same thing. It's dude, you've got kids, and I know you've got to support them, and this is what you want to do in supporting them and that, but it's whoa, So, but yeah, I don't know. Let's see. I actually can't find it. Yeah. Ugh. Maybe it's on the roster. Maybe I don't know whether. Maybe. Oh, you might have it updated. Oh yeah, it looks like it's updated. Maybe. Let's see. Because we got BDE. We've already known that. I think we got a re-signing of Mustafa Ali. Who else? The hometown man. A couple of other people that I can't really remember. Daria Ray, who is I think she's the former. What's she? Who was she in WWE? Sonya Deville. Yeah, that's it. So she's debuted with the company. She seems to be just a heel, like manager of the company, so to speak, I suppose, or director of authority, similar role. So I think again, like a lot of fans are kind of like sick of that, like heel authority thing because it's like it's been done to death and whatnot. But I don't think we've really seen many female, like heel, like kind of producers or whatever. So you know, it might be something different. She's great. She's done a lot of stuff. I think I think she still wrestles. Maybe she doesn't. I'm not too sure, but maybe rarely she still wrestles. But yeah, I think she'll mostly be backstage. I'm just gonna make sure that I haven't missed anyone else because I know that there's certainly one more, but I just want to triple check just in case I've missed something because I can miss these things or forget these things. Even just having had it happen, because there's just so many things to keep track of sometimes. No. Okay, so Anya Black, a.k.a. Cora Jade, debut as well. So that's pretty cool. People forget that Anya or Cora was in TNA way before she was in WWE and way before she was in AEW as well, so people forget that. So she's returned to the company, but it's Daria's debut there, so that's cool. But that's two new people to add to the Knockouts division. I do feel like again, like one of those is like really not really, and maybe the other one is kind of like well, you know, more of like she's almost semi-retired at this point. I feel like Anya, she is in that position of like she's somewhat semi-retired, you know, and she's been doing some good, like she's been getting some good money for just doing OnlyFans, I think, or whatever. So you know, yeah. I think some of the changes to some of the things that have gone on as well, like changing up the tag team champions to back to the Elegance brand. You know, okay, cool, great. That's a good one because it's like in some ways, but it's like because if you're gonna have like something for somebody to do, like in that mid card division, it's easier to have, you know, the champions be heels, like with someone like Indy there to chase them around and things like that or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. She has to find a partner first, I think. But yeah, so I don't know, and I'm kind of just sick of like the feuds that they had and the lack of teams in the division and stuff like that. So it's like, I don't know. The biggest thing, besides AJ coming back and whatnot, is that they put the belt back on Santana. I'm very happy with that. But now he has to defend the title against Frankie Kazarian at Genesis in a Texas, is a Texas death match? I believe it's Texas death match. Yeah, Texas death match. And Nick Nemeth is going to be the special guest referee. It's funny that Nick Nemeth didn't come out at the end. I was like thinking that he was going to, but I feel like you should have shown that something did stop him from coming out, or whatever else it was. Like maybe he got super kicked by somebody or something like that, or whatever, or knocked out backstage somehow or something. Because then you're hinting at somebody else coming in. Actually, they haven't announced who this Mr. Elegance is. That's who it was. That was the other person that they debuted. Who's this Mr. Elegance? Do they have it on the roster? I don't think they actually have it on here. LM. No. So who's that? Like, and who's that, I don't want to sound racist, but who was that Asian guy that was on there, like, saying, I must protect the Elegance brand? You know, who's, like, I think we saw his name. Yeah, I don't remember what his name was. So, let's see if I can find it over here, perhaps. Let's see. No, that's not it. Probably not gonna find it. Probably not very lucky. Not a lucky man. I don't know. No, I'm not getting lucky here, man. I don't know. No, I don't know. So actually, maybe I can cheat and actually let's see if I can just find it on here. I think it was stated somewhere. This might be the best way to find it. Okay, whoa, we're going a bit. Alright, let's see. No, not this, not this. No, not this. No, 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 no. No, no, no. No, no, no. Okay. So this is you. I'll put it on there for that. Let's see, for you. Yeah, whoops. What's going on there? No, 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 no. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Here. It doesn't actually say, but... No, it doesn't say, and he hasn't been updated into the thing here. No, he might not have, like... But they should say his name, at least, like... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether this was a cool thing, but they had Dixie Carter return, and then when Bully Ray came out, he hugged Dixie. That was kind of cool in some regard. You know, but whatever. Oh, okay. Here it might be. So there, what Nick Nemeth did come out after the match had finished. Okay, so that's the way that they had Nick Nemeth come out and have a bit of a brawl with Santana after the end of the show led to Del Rey coming out and saying that this would be a match with Nick Nemeth doing the special guest refereeing between Santana and Kazarian. You've just put the title onto off Kazarian onto Santana. So I don't feel like you're gonna change. Same thing, like you're not gonna take the title off Santana now and say, oh, let's put it onto Nick Nemeth. I don't think. No, I don't know. So yeah, but anyway, that is the situation as we see it for now. Like, really only like two major like sort of surprises here in debuts / returns. I was expecting a little bit more. Especially with like you saying, hey, like maybe you're getting like, well, I say two. I should say more because like it was really three. Yeah, I should say three. But still, like I was still expecting like maybe one more, maybe like so. And like again, one of those is really a retired wrestler. Basically just a figurehead, so to speak. So it's like, and sometimes you need to get certain things in certain orders. And I think, again, this feels like very rehashed of like when Kazarian had the title, or the Call Your Shot Gauntlet title, and there was a match between, it was Hendry and somebody. I think it was actually Nick Nemeth. Yeah, it was actually Nick Nemeth. And you had Kazarian with the Call Your Shot, and he was the special guest referee, and then you had this whole thing with like JBL coming and giving a clothesline to Hendry, I think it was at the time, and Ryan Nemeth and whatnot, and all this other stuff. So you're doing it that very similar thing, except kind of backwards, where now Nick Nemeth has the Call Your Shot and Kazarian's the one in the match. So it's the same thing, but a little bit different, which is like crazy. But yeah, if you like I said this before, and they said, hey, we're gonna have Call Your Shot come back or whatever. Cool, like that means that you 1000% need to get rid of this Call Your Shot as soon as possible, because if you have a Call Your Shot and a Feast or Fired running around at the same time, it's going to be so freaking confusing for people to follow the fact that there's two people that can basically call their shot at virtually any time to get a title match. And again, I think I said this before, where I said, like, let's trim down the Call Your Shot. I said, like, make it, you get a title, two briefcases. You either get a title shot or you get fired. I don't know who's getting fired. I don't know. Does it really matter? Don't know. But yeah, like, and then there's one world title shot belt contract. Because, like, who cares about getting any other title shot, basically? All the other title shots you can get at any time, basically. It only really works for heels to have, like, a Call Your Shot or whatever, and screw out somebody from the title. But, like, when you have a heel in the mid-card, that shouldn't be the level of story that you're trying to tell with somebody in that level. You know what I mean? You only can do that with somebody in the world title division. So there's no point in having any other title on the line. And I said before, they should have a women's one. They should have, a knockouts Feast or Fired, or a knockouts individual one for the Call Your Shot. I don't know. Said that before too. But yeah, so those are our latest updates. These are my latest thoughts on the Genesis and what they're going to go down with here. So yeah, and I think, like I say, I don't really do reviews, but for the most part, this show was really good. I did think that it was without the Leon match, it still was really good. But I do feel like, the most of the matches were pretty fast paced, which was good because it's like, except for when they were getting close to an ad, and you could tell when they were getting close to an ad break or whatever, because suddenly the action would slow right down and whatever, and things like that. Even for like a prolonged period of time, it would be slowing down and things like that because they somewhat mistimed when the ad was going to be and whatnot and that sort of thing, or were like trying to keep it together for the ad, and they were like, oh, we mistimed that or whatever it was. But yeah, or it just took longer to do these like spots or whatever it was. But yeah, I think for the most part it was a good show, at least for me, like, and whatnot, and I think most of the fans who probably tuned in. So I do want to hear like constructively positive. Like I said this before, I don't actually want to hear people who are just out there to shit on the product or just say, oh, it's bad because it's bad and I'm a hater or whatever. I want to hear people who say, oh yeah, I liked it, but I wanted more of this, or I wanted more surprises, or I wanted a nice X Division match, or I wanted this, or I wanted that, or whatever, or maybe they should have cut some minutes here or cut some minutes there, or whatever it was, or maybe they should have given minutes here or whatever. But yeah. Anyway, guys, that is pretty much it for this one. So I hope you've enjoyed, and obviously we'll be back in a couple of days to do the review. It might be, as again, out a little bit late. The live feed is sometimes, like with the pay-per-views, it seems to be a little bit better, but with the TV shows, it's been a little bit sketchy. So we'll wait and see. Hopefully, it won't cause any problems. But anyway, guys, hope you have enjoyed, and hope you join me again in another one.